I know what you're thinking, all right? The boy that cried wolf. I've already made videos before where I pretend to have an issue. I have a clickbait title like I have a problem, and I rope you in with some sort of joke. Like the previous one was on MGH, Magic Gay Hands. I get it, all right? At this point, you don't trust me, and I understand that, but this time I mean it. I do genuinely have a problem, and honestly, it's a problem that's lasted 21 years. 21 years of my life I've dealt with this problem, and coincidentally, it started when I first learned magic tricks. Now, the unfortunate truth is that I feel like a lot of you guys also have this problem as well, and because of that, maybe hopefully in this video I could help you guys and solve your problem. I guess I'd rather show you guys than keep talking about it, so I guess might as well get to the trick, right? Whoa! So here's an ordinary normal deck of playing cards. I'm sure something that you guys all recognize as part of your normal everyday usage. And here is where I could best illustrate my problem. I'm actually going to need the jokers. I'm going to need the jokers for this. As a matter of fact, we're going to use both jokers for this particular demonstration, if you would. And this actually requires a participant. So because there's no participant here, because I'm a lonely loser, because of my problem, I'm going to have to take the role of the spectator. And the spectator's instructed to cut the deck into 3 piles. And they could do this however many cards they want. And here's where we actually use the jokers. And we place them exactly where it is they cut. Now at this point, the deck is regrouped again by the participant. And this is where we illustrate my problem. My problem, ladies and gentlemen, because we have the position of the jokers, in this case right here next to this card, and the other joker right here next to this card. So again, had you cut a little bit deeper, it would have been a different card. Had you cut more or less, it would be a different card. But of course, the jokers were placed directly next to, in this case, the ace of spades. Not only the ace of spades, but also the ace of clubs, which match the other aces perfectly. And I guess that's a perfect demonstration of what my problem is, which is that I can't do a trick without ending with the 4 aces. Every trick has to end with the 4 aces. You think I want to live this life where I can't do any trick unless it ends with the 4 aces being produced? It's terrible. I'm in the middle of an ambitious card routine, and out of nowhere, I just have a sudden urge to produce the 4 aces. You think it's a joke, but it's come to the point where it's affecting my love life. And in the middle of coitus, I'm out here producing the 4 aces. And I guess this trick is another example of that. How could you help? Well, I don't know, maybe you could check out the Pigcake Magic Academy, where $5 a month gets you 2 videos every single week going over card and coin stuff, and you immediately get access to the piggybacker tier of videos, which is 2 additional tutorials that I don't post anywhere else. Just look at the long list of things you get access to the moment you sign up. Maybe through the Pigcake Magic Academy, you could help me out with my 4 ace problem. But alas, I guess I'll show you guys how this is done. Sarabanda by Aldo Colombini is one of the, I would say, standout tricks in his impromptu magic series. And I remember getting it years and years ago. And recently I was reminded as to the amazement of the mind of Aldo Colombini. And this is just one of those little ideas. Now, usually he used it as a way of revealing selected cards. But this is a nice way of getting into, again, my problem, which is revealing the 4 aces in some sort of magical way. So here's the setup. You take 2 matching aces and you place them on top of the deck. Then you place the other 2 matching aces, and that goes on top of the deck. On top of that goes the jokers. Now, if you want, you could place these in a position to be produced however it is that you want. Ultimately, that's going to be up to you and your virginity. But you are going to produce the jokers, and then you are going to steal the top ace underneath the jokers. So the way we do that is that after whatever production you want, in this case that's just a little bit of a flippy production there, you are going to get a break underneath that top card of the deck. So right now I have a break right there, and we're just going to steal that card underneath the jokers as we take the deck and place it on the table. Now we're going to instruct the spectator to cut the deck into 3 piles. Now what this is going to do is that this is going to place an ace at the rightmost pile, depending on what direction a spectator decides to cut the cards. So you're going to have to pay attention as to how they cut the cards, because you're going to place one of the jokers that is loose on the top card of the deck, and you're going to place one of the jokers with the card loaded underneath on the other pile. So in this case, we have an ace on this side. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're just going to slide the top joker off, and we're going to take this one, which remember is 2 cards, and place it on this pile all the way to the left. Now we're going to take this loose joker, which doesn't have a card underneath, and we're going to place that on the original top card of the deck. So what this does is that now we have an ace underneath here, and because that's the original top card of the deck, we have an ace underneath here. So now the spectator could group up the cards. They could take this middle pile, put it on whichever pile they want. In this case, let's say place it here. And now you're going to tell them to place that pile on top. Now it is important at this point to notice where this joker goes, because this joker has the remaining aces underneath. In this case, we have the remaining 3 aces. So it's going to be very important that you keep track of which is which, because you're going to have to cut that to the top. So let's say the spectator places this pile on top of that, and then places that pile on top of that. You could tell the spectator, had they cut a little bit different, the outcome would be changed. Sir, this is what you don't understand with your feeble, insignificant, stupid mind. At this point, all you have to do is just spread through the cards and take the card that's directly underneath the joker and place it on the table. So right now, that is already 1 ace. Now, when I get to this joker, I'm actually going to cut the cards to the top, because these are going to be the remaining 2 aces that are going to be on top of the deck. Sorry, that was a mistake, but I'm not going to cut it out because I'm a human. And this illustrates that even me, in my infinite wisdom, I can make mistakes and accidentally take another card. But you're going to spread through until you see the other joker and do the exact same thing, taking the card directly underneath. Now, when I regroup the deck, all I'm going to do is get a break underneath the second card from the top of the deck, in preparation for Louis Simonov's flippant move. Now this is going to take place under heavy misdirection, because I'm going to take both jokers and place it on top of the deck. And now when I turn both of these cards over and show them to be, in this case, matching aces, that's when I take advantage and do the Louis Simonov flippant move, which is just that. Now what that move is because I have a break, all I have to do is drop the cards. That's going to introduce some air between the cards, and it's going to cause those 2 cards to flip over. Now this is a very easy move to do the more cards you have. If you do it with 1 card or 2 cards, that's when it gets difficult. But in this case, we're doing it with 4, my friends, so it's going to be a lot easier to do. And you're doing this under the cover of turning both of these cards over. So as I turn this card to a face-up position, I'm doing a flippant move, and the attention is going to be on these cards. So this is where you have a nice little bit of a twist here, where you could show the spectators that the cards that they placed were right next to the aces that happened to match. And of course, you could then show that the jokers happen to have turned into the 2 remaining aces. So at speed, you're turning over the cards and showing to the spectator that the aces have been reached through their magic mystery touch, and ultimately that the jokers have now been changed into the aces, thus showing that you cannot physically conclude a card trick without a production of the 4 aces. I think we could come together as a group of magicians and work through this problem. I know some of you guys also have this issue. I've seen it in your Instagram videos where you can't end any routine without producing the 4 aces, but I'm here for you. And through my problems, hopefully we could come to a solution. A final solution, if you would. I can't be making those jokes as an Arabic man, but you know what? I did. I went there. Well, that's the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for being a part of this little bit of a trick, right? 4 aces. I think it's a fun one. I think some of you guys are going to enjoy it. Aldo Colombini is a genius. If you have the chance to look up his works, he has a bunch of videos with pretty much hundreds of tricks. Some are self-working, some are impromptu, some are packet tricks, some involve clever mathematics that you would never be able to figure out no matter what your virgin level. And he's a true genius that we lost, I believe, way too soon. Man. Let's see what we could talk about here at the tail end of this video. I already mentioned that I went to Disney. That was a fun adventure. Oh boy. What did I do yesterday? I think I had Bud Lights yesterday. I've gotten to the point in my life where now I get hungover from Bud Lights. Now, granted, I did start drinking later on in life. I believe 27 is when I started drinking. So I guess that could give you a little bit of an indicator as to my age. I was straight edge forever until I realized that, I don't know why I'm doing this anymore. And I decided to partake in the alcoholic lifestyle. Not an alcoholic lifestyle, but in the alcohol lifestyle, and mixing drinks. And I've gotten to the age now where I get hungover from Bud Lights. So I'm not proud of that. Bud Lights are really comparable to water in terms of the liquor scale. And now I can't have, 2 or 3 without the next day having a little bit of a headache, where any light source makes me want to find the nearest mall and change lives. So one thing that I do recommend for those of you party drinkers is to match whatever it is that you're drinking with a cup of water. So if you have a can of beer, get a can of water, right? I don't mean get a can of water, but get a equivalent of a can of water. I think that's good advice. And don't forget that. Don't forget that, because you will regret it the next morning. So anytime, make a point. Oh, let me get a beer, but also give me a glass of water, please. Thank you. Oh, yeah, let me get that liquor, but also let me get a glass of water, please. Thank you. And you chug it. You chug it. I'm saving you guys a potential headache literally the next day. So take that advice from, I don't want to say an old man, because I'm not an old man, but from a seasoned fellow.